Now, you may have clicked this video because like 80% of artists on Spotify, you've got less than 50 listeners per month. And that can be really, really discouraging. You put all your time, your effort, your creative brilliance, your dedication, your craft into putting a song, and it's now out there on Spotify. And then you hear,
When my little girl walks in the class.
not those crickets, those crickets. And whether you're new to Spotify or have an issue with crickets, I want to talk about the one thing that you must do or you won't be heard. And when I tell you, you may not like the idea, in fact, but over time you might see that, yeah, it's true. G'day and welcome to Indie Over 50, a channel dedicated to those of us releasing new original music over the age of 50 years old. My name is John Huggart, and I invite you to join the Indie Over 50 community. You can subscribe here, and if you've got new music out there already, send me your links to Spotify or YouTube, and I can add them to our Indie Over 50 playlists. So first of all, I'm going to assume that you've already shared your song with family and friends. Now, that depending on how all that goes, for me, that's worth about 200 streams, and that's awesome. And I get some amazing positive feedback from doing that. Don't stop that. That's really, really important, but it's also not enough. And I'm also going to assume that your song is awesome. Now, obviously that's very subjective, and you do you, but Spotify's going to pretty much quickly tell you if it's not great. There's data that it's going to work on. It's going to work out that even when you send it to your family and friends, they didn't save it, or they didn't play it again, or they skipped the song entirely. So there's a lot of data that will help Spotify work out whether it likes your song or not. Let's just assume you've got an awesome song. So I want to share a story with you. I shared one of my songs on Facebook in response to a professional artist manager request, and it piqued his interest and it piqued my interest, and I was happy to engage him for a chat. At a Zoom call, I paid him. He's a professional. But what I learned was really, really powerful. During that session, I shared my story. I told him about what I'd been doing in terms of putting the music together and releasing it, promoting it and sharing it, and some of the successes I'd had and some of the challenges I was facing. And then he told me bluntly, and he put it firmly, I hadn't invested enough in marketing. Marketing, promotion, PR, advertising, content, whatever flavor you want to call it, I hadn't invested enough. And it was holding me back. It was meaning that the songs that I'd loved and shared were never going to reach the success I'd envisaged. Now, you might feel the way I do. I feel like I've put the music out there. It's there now. People are going to absolutely love it. I'm sure people are going to share it with their friends. I'm sure they're going to put it on repeat. I'm sure they're going to recommend it to others. I'm sure that they're going to save it and put it on their playlist. And even better, because it's out there now, I'm sure it'll be picked up by a company who want to put it in the next movie or on a TV show. And then all of a sudden I'm going to have people coming to me and saying, I want you to tour our town. Because that's my dream. And then it hit me. I'm 60 years old. I've had a very successful corporate career. And I know this. I've actually been responsible for very, very large advertising budgets. And we had a rule of thumb that whatever you spent on the creative, putting an advertising campaign together, you needed to spend on average around 6 times as much on the media to make that ad effective. Now, sometimes it didn't work out that well because the ad wasn't that great. But sometimes it'd double down and you'd keep going and going. The ad was working and you'd invest more and more and more, and you'd get the rewards for it. Sometimes if you can see that ad still generating, return and responses and sales after 100 times of the spend of putting that creative together. Now let me tell you, I had a lot of great ad campaigns, but I never did one amazing ad that was put on one time in the Super Bowl that built the entire Apple brand. And I never came up with an amazingly clever video of a guy roller skating, drinking cranberry juice to a Fleetwood Mac song that just exploded viral. Now the reality is, with my first 5 songs on Spotify, of all the amount of money I'd spent on recording, producing, the artist, the talent, the mastering, whatever I'd spent, that total money on 5 songs, I'd spend in total about 20% of that on promotion. And of course, it was clear it just wasn't enough. Now, of course, it's not just about spending money. Just like recording or creating your music in the first place, lots of us can do it at home. You can learn about recording. You can use your own software at home. You can invest that time and effort to understand that craft. You can use people who are happy to do it with you and collaborate for free. So there's a lot of different ways you can reduce the cost of that recording in the first place. But then when you get onto the marketing, are you going to be the right expert that can make sure that a Meta ads campaign or Hypeedit or Spotify can be a successful investment to support your release? Think of all the musical skills that you've got. Have you got them in marketing as well? About promotions, about playlisting, about content creation. Now, the reality is, as a musician, it is all that effort and time you've invested in, first of all, learning and then practicing and then jamming and then playing cover songs and getting out there and playing in dodgy joints and then maybe doing some tours or some shows, and then all that craft work that you do to make sure that you can be a really effective performer or songwriter. And then you cross over the other side of the console and all of a sudden you're interested in GarageBand or Ableton Live or Pro Tools. And then you're talking about condenser mics, and you're talking about hardware and software for your studio. The chances are you've spent your 10,000 hours on your craft, not the marketing. So there you have it. I'm sharing this as part of my learning. I don't have a link below to invite you to sign up for some music marketing course that I'm offering. I don't do that. I don't have affiliate links below or something, so I'm going to earn a commission from you checking them out. I really just want to share a little bit about what I've learned and about the challenges and the opportunities that I've faced as an artist over 50. But in the links below and in the details or the description, I will include a couple of sites or subscriptions that I found really, really helpful in helping me understand and learn about music marketing. So there will be a couple of links below there, and including a great recent video that came out with, I think it was 20 minutes and all these amazing insights from different music experts and marketers. But before I go, if you've invested in marketing for your music, how did it go? Let me know what worked well or what didn't. You can put it in the comments below. Let's share it and learn together. And did you actually spend more on your marketing than on your recording? And if you want to be part of this learning journey, then join me. Just subscribe. That's free. And also check out the links below. And remember, if you've already got your new original music out there on Spotify or YouTube, please send me the links and I'll add them to our Indie Over 50 playlists. We make beautiful music. I'll make another video soon, and I'll see you then.